There is a life I lead in this city, hurrying to cut my teeth.
Good morning, everybody. We are here in the beautiful north shore of Kauai. We've been here for this is our second full day, and we're just kind of hanging out on the north shore. We decided to get the cameras out. We went out last night and I got a couple of, at least one good shot, I think. Didn't record anything. There was a lot of people out, so we came out here to the same exact spot for sunrise, a place called Hanalei Bay, which is absolutely beautiful. A couple of issues though with that, and one is the sun is rising on the southern part of the islands, in the southern part of the sky this time of year, so with us being on the north side, we don't get the best light, but we're gonna make do with what we got, and yeah, just excited to be here and show you guys this beautiful area.
Somewhere in the great unknown, when I return from the afterglow.
Alright guys, well, one thing I love is that I can do landscape photography in board shorts and no shoes, so it's pretty awesome.
Hold on, put me together, take me back where I've been. I want it all.
Alright guys, well, my Z6 right now is shooting a time lapse, so right now we are recording on Chris's new vlogging camera.
My Christmas gift.
What do you got?
An M50.
Yes, Chris got the M50, so now Chris can kind of do her own little thing. So what we're trying to do is figure out kind of our style and what we want to shoot, how we want to do our videos with both of us in the videos together all the time. So we thought it might be beneficial. So Chris got a new vlogging camera, so we're very happy about that. One thing about earlier, guys, shooting seascapes, how I normally do it is I'll set up wherever my composition is. I will turn off my LCD screen and use the viewfinder, put it on continuous high, and just fire off photos as the waves come in and the waves go out. That way later on I can figure out which one is best, and also choosing a shutter speed that looks really nice to get that motion in the water, usually around like 1/3 or 1/2 of a second looks really good. And then also not using the timer. That way I can just hold down the button, I don't have to wait for 2 seconds and try and time it. It makes it really hard. So having the waves coming in and out, holding continuous high, and just shooting all the way through, the wave coming in, the wave going out, and that way later on in post-processing I can pick out the best photo.
I want it all. I had a feeling, but the feeling is all gone. Wait, hold on, put me together, take me back where I belong. I want it all. I had a feeling, but the feeling is all gone.
Alright guys, so what I'm doing here is I want to do a really long exposure on this pier. So the pier goes right out, right in the middle of the frame. I have some clouds coming in from the left. Unfortunately, compositionally, there's nothing on the right hand side, so I'm not sure how convinced I am that it's going to be a great photo. But I want to show you guys how I set up my long exposure photos. I'm using a 10-stop filter. So what I do is I get what's called my test settings on my Photopills app. So right now I'm at f11, 1/20th of a second, and ISO 64. Then I simply just plug those numbers into my exposure calculator on my Photopills app. And then what I do is I want the equivalent settings, but 10 stops darker. So what I do is I put in 10 stops. So 10 stops, and then still keep it at ISO 64. And then at f11, that gives me 51 seconds of an exposure time. But what I think I want to do is I want to make it about 2 minutes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up to f16 on the new settings. That's going to give me 1 minute and 42 seconds, and that's what I'm going to use to shoot this photo here, is 1 minute and 42 second shutter speed, and then we'll see how it looks.
If I could take you back to my youth and show you what I wish I knew. My will is strong with a place to live. In the moment I hung desperate, the other ring on my wrist is gold, pairing with the light it holds.
exploring the south coast, or heading towards the south coast right now. And we stopped in this really beautiful group of palm trees. And I've been wanting to get a shot like this with kind of palm trees crossing each other, make it really dark and kind of fine arty. And I'm trying to do it quick enough to where I don't get eaten by mosquitoes here. And also I'm having a bit of an issue because of the wind, and these palm trees blow really hard in the wind. So I have my ISO at 500, F5 at 1/100th of a second, and I just kind of waiting in between. The light's kind of coming through and hitting parts of these palm trees, which is really nice. And I want to make this kind of a dark, moody image. So I'm kind of trying to time it to where the wind stops, the light's coming through, and trying to get it sharp enough and the shutter speed enough to where I'm not getting any motion blur.
Hold on, put me together, take me back where I belong. I want it all. I had a feeling, but the feeling is all gone. Wait, hold on, put me together, take me back where I belong. I want it all. I had a feeling, but the feeling is all gone.
Alright guys, well, we made it here in really good time. We actually still have about 45 minutes before sunset, and we're in a place that's got a lot of volcanic rock everywhere. There's a lot of tide pools, a lot of places where the water's coming in and going out over rocks, little waterfalls and little stone arches and things like that. So there is so much to shoot right here. We're on a part of the island that is facing south and southeast, so the sun's going to be setting right in our frame, which is really what we want, as long as the clouds kind of you know, break up at the sun at the horizon, which I'm not sure if we're going to get, but the clouds are kind of moving off towards the sun. If I can find a composition, and Chris is kind of looking around too, just kind of watching the water. I believe the tide's coming up right now too, so we always have to pay attention to that. And what I'm probably going to do is stick on a 10 stop and do a couple of really long exposures, and yeah, just do a little bit of playing around now that we have a little bit of time. So. One thing is, you never turn your back on the ocean, so I'm going to show you guys kind of with some B-roll here what I'm looking at as this water kind of comes into this little area and spreads itself out. I'm going to use the same technique I told you guys about before, where I turn off the LCD screen, I turn on continuous high on the shutter, and very lightly I just hold it down as the water comes in and the water goes out. I got a good composition, I think, where, like I said, the water's coming in, so I'm going to try it. This weather is pretty crazy. The ocean, as you guys have seen, has been absolutely just, it's insane. It's so powerful, it's so beautiful, but just very dangerous at the same time.